Salvete discipuli, hodie spectatis caput ūndecim. Personal pronouns ego, tu, and is. Demonstratives is and idem. Hodie discemus primus vocabula capitis ūndecim. Deinde grammaticam. Personal pronouns. Demonstratives is and idem. Primum discemus verba vocabulorum capitis ūndecim. In hoc capite sunt tria verba: intellego, mitto, sentio. Primum verbum: intellego, intellegere, intellexi, intellectum. Hancne sententiam intellegere potestis? Si eam intellegitis, hunc iocum intellegitis. Quid significat intellego? Proximum verbum: mitto, mittere, nisi, missum. Kennedy ille praesidens in oratione dixit: hominem ad lonam mittemus, et ille ad terram salvus reveniet. Quid significat mitto? Ultimum verbum: sentio, sentire, sensi, sensum. Magnam turbationem in vi sentio, tamquam multae voces statim in timore exclamabant, et statim silentes erant. Quid significat sentio? Nunc discemus nomina vocabulorum capitis ūndecim. Sunt duo nomina in hoc capite: consul, nemo. Primum nomen: consul, consulis. In re publica Romana consules erant duo magistratus cum imperio militari et summa potestate in civitate. Quid significat consul? In hac pictura sunt duo consules Romani. Quid significat nomen? Ultimum nomen: nemo, neminis. In Antarctica nemo nisi is est inguinus vivere potest. In Antarctica nemo vivere potest, nisi is est pinguinus. Quid significat nemo? Nemo est ne plus homo, nullus homo. Nunc discemus adjectiva vocabulorum capitis ūndecim. Sunt duo adjectiva in hoc capite: amicus, carus. Primum adjectivum: amicus, amica, amicum. Civitates populo Romano amicas, Romani vocabant socios, et inimicas hostes. Quid significat amicus? Adjectivum amicus, non nomen. Ultimum adjectivum: carus, cara, carum. In fabula Domini annulorum, Gollum annulum meum carum vocabat, quod annulus eis carus est. Erat. Mea culpa. Quid significat carus? Nunc discemus alias partes loquendi vocabulorum capitis ūndecim. Sunt in hoc capite duo pronomina, tu is ea id, tres conjunctiones, autem, quod, neque, nec, et duo adverbia, bene, etiam. Primum pronomen, tu, et tu, Bruta, dixit Julius Caesar. Est pronomen personale. Ultimum pronomen is ea id. In fabula domini annulorum, golum annulum meum carum vocabat, quod annulus ei carus erat. Ecce golum, ecce annulus meum carum. Quid significat is ea id? Prima conjunctio, autem. Sentio autem, dicebat Cato Maior, nos Carthaginem delere debere. Quid significat autem? Proxima conjunctio, quod? In fabula domini annulorum gallum annulum meum carum vocabat, quod annulus ei carus erat. Quid significat quod? Ultima conjunctio, neque vel nec. In secundo bello mondiali, confederatio Helvetica, neque Germaniam, neque Franciam, neque aliam civitatem iuabat, quod neutri parti favebat. Quid significat neque? Primum adverbium, bene. Bene cenabis, si rex es. Quid significat bene? Ultimum adverbium, etiam. Cervesiam habebo. Etiam ego cervesiam habebo. Quid significat etiam? Okay, so in this chapter, we are learning personal pronouns. In other words, pronouns that refer to things like I, you, us, me, but also he, she, it, and they, okay? Those kind of things. So let's start with the singular. So personal pronouns can be in the first, second, or third person, depending on who you're referring to, right? So let's take a look. Let's start with the first person singular. Okay, so ego, the word for I. Okay, hence ego, and alter ego is another I, another identity. So it goes in the order of cases: ego, mei, mihi, me. So I as a subject, of me, genitive, dative, mihi, to or for me, me, okay, me is the direct object, accusative, and then also me in the ablative. In the second singular, tu means you. You is the subject. Now you don't see ego and tu as much because you don't need them when you're using verbs that already tell you with their case ending, with their personal ending, what the person is. However, you will still use ego and tu and other nominative personal pronouns for emphasis. Okay. So tu is you, the subject. Genitive tui, of you. Tibi, to or for you, dative. Te, accusative, direct object, and then te in the ablative again. Okay, so these resemble each other, of course, so you'll need context to figure out which is which. In the third singular, things get a little more complicated because while in the first and second, there's no gender that is being determined. In the third person personal pronoun, they do change depending on the gender. Okay, so is, ea, id translates as he, she, or it in the nominative. Okay, and then notice that The third person personal pronoun, he, she, it, or it declines similarly to the demonstrative pronouns that we've encountered, or as well as the IUS adjectives. So essentially, you have an IUS in the genitive singular, eos, eos, eos. So of him, of her, of it, or his, hers, its, right? And then you have the long I in the dative singular, to him, to her, to it, right? And then you have the 2-1-2 endings in the accusative and ablative, eum, eam, id. So him, her, it. And then ao, ao in the ablative. Okay? So again, these are personal pronouns and they follow a similar pattern to demonstrative pronouns. In fact, they can also be used as demonstrative pronouns. So in other words, the third person personal pronoun can also function as a demonstrative pronoun or adjective, meaning this or that, depending on the context. Okay, it's just it's less of it's a weaker demonstrative pronoun. It's usually not used for pointing out things. Okay, let's look at the plural versions of these personal pronouns. Okay, so words like us and y'all and they, right? So here they are. Let's look at the first person plural. Okay, so nos, that's we. Okay, nominative, the subject, we, for emphasis. Okay, then nostri and nostrum. Okay, depending on how you're using it, meaning of us. Okay, nostri as the type of genitive, which is called an objective genitive. We'll talk about that later. Okay, nostrum if it's a partitive genitive, so one of us, something like that. Okay, don't worry about it for now at the moment. Okay, nobis, to or for us. Okay, dative. Nos, accusative, direct object, us. Nobis, okay, from or by us, whatever, ablative. Okay, notice that again, as any plural, right, the dative and ablative plural are identical in form. Okay, same goes for the second plural. So y'all as the subject, wos, and then westry, of us, or westrum if you're saying one of us, okay, partitive genitive. Dative, wobis, okay, to or for y'all, and so the same in the ablative. Okay, and then wos is the accusative plural. And then words for they. This is that, and as you can see, they basically use the 2-1-2 case endings, just like the plurals for other demonstrative pronouns, which of course, this can be both the third person personal pronoun in the plural, they, or it can also be means this or that. Okay. So ae and ee, these are sort of variants, meaning they, masculine, plural. But otherwise, as you see here, it's the 2-1-2 endings all the way through. Finally, there's also another demonstrative pronoun, idem, eadem, idem, and this means the same. Okay, it can be used as a pronoun or as an adjective. So you can pair this with another noun to say, the same sword or whatever, idem gladius. So all there, for the most part, is to it is you take is, ea, id, right, the third person personal pronoun, and you add the suffix dem, dem. See, so idem, eadem, idem. Okay, it all means the same, but they are modifying, whatever the gender, case, and number it is. There's only a certain couple places where that will cause a slight spelling change. So for instance, eundem is what happens when you take eum, meaning him, and add a D after the M. And actually it's a lot easier on the mouth, easier on the tongue, okay, linguistically, to put an N before a D rather than an M before a D. So try saying eumdem and then say eundem, okay? A lot easier to say. So that's why the Romans changed the spelling. Same with eandem. So her, so the same woman in the accusative, right? The same in the genitive plural, right? You would expect eorum dem, but it changes to eorundem. Okay, but otherwise it's just if you've memorized is, ea, id and how it declines, then you pretty much know idem, eadem, idem. You just add the dem and do the spelling change when it ends in an M. Okay, that's it. That's it for this chapter. So hopefully it's building on things you're familiar with, and we'll see what comes at us next. Volete discipuli.